tell Steffi she's going to have to cue me. Greetings. Welcome to the Yang Style Tai Chi course. I'm Michael Gilman. This is the second part in our series on applications for the Yang Style solo form. Last tape we covered the first section, and this we're going to continue on, moving into the second section. And once again, my guest is John Considine. So we're going to, let me demonstrate the next few movements, then we'll break them up, look at applications, and then we'll review the movements once again, make sure you can see them clearly, and then continue on moving through this section. This section is approximately a little over twice as long as the first section, so it'll be interesting to see if we can get how many we can get in on this particular lesson, but we'll just continue on. Okay, so going from the end of the first section, beginning of the second section, across hands. First movement in the second section is called Carry Tiger to Mountain. Roll back, press forward, and push. Fist under elbow. Okay, so John, if I can get John out. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Okay, so carry tiger to mountain. John is going to kick around to attempt to kick me towards the back and side. Now, what I'm going to do, the tendency when a kick comes in is to tighten up and resist, and that thereby the kick would come into me. In Tai Chi, what we do is step in. So by stepping in, even if I don't block it, the force will not be much and won't get into me too much. So in Tai Chi, for most all of the foot kicks, we tend to step in. So here, as he kicks, I step in and grab, and then I'm going to pull his leg at the same time, push his upper body, and cause him to fall over. Now, we talked on the last day about long energy and short energy, and this would be considered long energy. He kicks, I grab, and I kind of push and pull at the same time. Now, there is a really nice application for short energy, an interesting application for short energy. As he goes to kick, I hit right into his knee, and this could be very painful. Thank you. Very painful. And it's done in karate and in kung fu. The harder forms tend to use this kind of block. In Tai Chi, we don't tend to do it very often, but it's a possibility we can. Okay, so let's carry tiger to mountain. Continuing with this is a repeat of roll back, press forward, and push. The last time we did roll back, press forward, and push, we came from right push upward. Here we're coming from carry tiger. So he grabs me. As he grabs me, I twist. So as I twist, this hand comes up. Now I can use long energy or short energy. Short energy would be just knocking him right off. I could just knock him off and then come back for press. Or with a longer energy, I can make this into an arm bar. I can actually turn this into a grab and press, and I could actually take him down into the ground and back. So this is called, this is roll back, press. If he comes in, and push, he's come in and we neutralize. So we won't talk about roll back, press forward, and push very much because there's lots of different applications, but we'll be here, all week. Okay, so just let me just for one moment. Okay, here is carry tiger to mount. He's coming in. I step in and block. This is going to pull as this pushes. He grabs. I roll back. This knocks off. Press and push. Okay, the next is fist under one. This is a great movement. This is really fun. Now, if the opponent is behind me, and I've just finished, the tendency is, if you're just a little bit more on the diagonal, the first part is what we call coming into center. I think we talked about this last time. We use this centering position a lot, that the weight is on the back foot, this hand is up, this is here, this can block, and the power comes from here. So we first saw it in ward-off left, very first movement. Okay, so I've just finished with this person, and I come into my center to deal with somebody who's behind me. Now let me say this just a second here, that remember also that in Tai Chi form, all of the transitions between these movements can be applications, or it's just a transition. Some of them, it's just a way to get from this movement to that movement, and there does not necessarily have to be any kind of thing going on. And in this movement, we'll just say, there won't be. I can come up with stuff, but no, let's just say I'm coming into center. Okay. Now, in this case, we'll say he punches me with this side. Okay. So, as he punches, I'm going to join, neutralize. Now, we've talked about getting behind the energy. I want to lead his energy here. As I lead it in, I just get around behind him. It's sort of as if his energy is just propelling me and turning me around. For instance, if he was pushing on the shoulder, you see pushing, I could just revolve around here. So in this case, as it comes in, I revolve around, and this hand comes up. Now I'm behind him, I'm flanking him, and there's all kinds of things that can happen at this point. None of them good. So let's look on this. Let's look at this side. Let's see if we can see. Okay, so he's coming here. Okay, so I can grab him here, step behind, and throw him over my leg this way. I can hit him here and hit him here. I can neutralize down and attack up underneath. I can step behind him this way, see, and throw him this way. So a lot of different possibilities there. Okay, so thanks. Let me show this one. Okay, so here. First we come into center. He's pushing in. We join, lead, step around behind. And traditionally we grab here and pull. Good. Next few movements. Step back and repulse monkey. It's repeated 3 times. Slanting flying. raise hands. Okay, so John, so step back and repulse monkey. So we're coming here. After this, there's traditionally a couple of different ones. One is he grabs me. It's because it's usually when something's sticking out, somebody's going to grab it. So easy one is I'm stepping back. I'm using his front foot to draw him in. As I draw him in, this can either knock him off. He can walk into it. So that'd be short energy, would be just a bonk, like so. I can turn this into long energy by making this an arm bar. Okay, so one. Okay, or say he's punching at me. I could just neutralize and attack. This is very traditional. Neutralize and attack. This is called step back and repulse monkey. You have to be very careful not to fall and lose your balance when you're doing this. And it's done 3 times, basically the same one. So I've done 1, he comes in, 2, he comes in, 3, right? So basically the same movement. The next is called slanting flying. Now this is splitting energy. So let's do it facing this direction so they can see. Now, say I've just finished in this direction, but we'll do it in this direction so you can see it. So again, as a transition, I'm coming into center. You see, I just bring myself into a center position. And as he comes in with this side here, what I'm going to do is neutralize him down. At the same time, I'm going to step behind him. So I want him in. You see, he's very off balance. So the 2 most sort of traditional ways to do this is long energy is as he's coming in, I put my foot back here, this hand comes up, and I throw him over my leg. You see? So there's a nice pressure there. Or I can come up and strike up into the ribs or into the face, those kind of things. Okay, so you can just stand this. So those look like down. Okay. And up. The next is raise hands. Raise hands. And in this raise hands, the first raise hands we did was the attack was coming from the attack was sideways. He was attacking me in. And as he came in, as he attacked, I guided him in. The right hand was steady and solid. The left hand came in to have an arm bar or a snap. If you remember, when we were coming from single whip, came back. This led him in. This was solid, and this came in. At this point, now, we're going to have this as the solid piece and this hand coming in. So when he comes in to my center, I empty the center, join, and then close. The pressure being like so. Like this. I can also apply long energy to him and take him up and out. Okay. So you'll see in the long energy, in the most traditional yang style, what they do is here they tend to do this and then apply a little forward movement, which is that kind of nice long arm bar and lifting. You'll see that. Okay, so once again, from this step back and repulse monkey, he grabs, we twist and knock off or strike. He could be punching, I can neutralize and strike. Slanting flying, come into center, open up. Here comes the punch. Join, step behind it and throw over the leg, or come up and strike. A little bit different internals. Raise hands. I get back. You're going to get back. He's punching in, so we replace neutralize and close in. So this one is here first, 1, 2. But this one has to keep a pressure inward. Next, stork spreads its wings. Left brush knee. Needle at C bottom. Fan through the back. Okay. So you've seen some of these before in a slightly different version. The first stork spreads its wings was, remember, they were coming in, we stepped around and chopped, then we chopped and struck. This time it's going to be a little different, okay? So once again, it's going to be in this direction, but in order for you to see it, we'll change our direction. So the first time he came in with this side, as he came in, I could join and chop around this four stork spreads its wing, right? So as he came in, I could kick him. This time he's coming in with this side, and if I try to do that, I just walk into him. So it presents a different problem. As this energy is coming inward, it's going down to my center, I'm going to neutralize it. Let's do it in this direction so they can see a little better. Okay, so I'm going to empty. Now, he's got this other hand here, but because I'm drawing him out, it's going to be a little tricky for him to get me. It's a little odd. But he can. So I immediately, as he comes in, I immediately step into his center and give him what we call shoulder strike. I can hit him with my hip, with the shoulder. I can come underneath. I can attack him in this fashion. But the important thing is that we're in close and that I have to be very careful of this hand. So you notice that I'm going to take care of that. So here's wrist and elbow, wrist and elbow, wrist and elbow. This stays on his elbow. I can be pulling it or just attached. I step in. Now this hand is going to come up to either, I can strike him or I can block as I come in. Now, if he was smart, he'd get out, he'd be trying to go back. And he doesn't have to go back very far because all he has to do is shift to his back foot and basically he's neutralized my incoming energy. At this point, I grab a hold of him to secure him with my other hand, and this hand comes up to strike. I can do with the elbow, the hand. I can also throw him backward. So once this whole movement is 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay. Okay, following that is left brush knee, and I think we can show this on this direction. So in the movement, I lead him in, this stays attached, strike, grab hold, and open. Yeah. Now, this is a left brush knee. This is a double defense against a double punch. He's punching in 1, 2. So, again, when he's punching, I'm basically going with it. Even if he were to hit me, I'm going in that direction. And I just want to encourage him in. You see? So it's a little slapping kind of motion. I don't try and stop him. I don't try and hit him at a right angle. I want him to keep going. You see how he comes right out of the center. So in this case, it's 1, 2. So I've neutralized 1 and 2. Once again, 1. So sometimes you can't tell him what you're going to do, or it takes the surprise out of it. Okay, so you see, it's so easy. He's going, as he's coming in, I'm going this way, and then I can strike him as he's coming in. Okay, so that's left brush knee. It's 1, 2, 3. Next, needle at bound, he grabs me from the top. Now, traditionally, needle at sea bottom is thought of as psi energy, pull down energy. In this case, in this application, we're going to use mostly silk reeling, Shensu Qing, the silk reeling energy. And we're going to lock up his joint. So, now the movement is this. This hurts a lot. This really hurts a lot. It doesn't look like much. It hurts a lot. Try it with, your little brother or something. Okay. We need to put his joint in a stressed position. So when he holds on, all I have to do is turn my palm over. You see? It doesn't matter how strong he is. It's very difficult for him to stop this kind of emotion. You'd think that if he was a lot stronger and he wanted to resist this, that he could resist it. But this twist is a lot easier to do than not to let it happen, not let it happen. Okay. Now, because he grabs me, my arm is extended. If I try and do this over here, I can't really do it. His joint isn't short enough, under enough stress. Okay. All right. Anyway. Oh, this is very funny. Okay, so I'm going to step up. It's short. Oh. Okay, let's see what this movement looks like. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay, we step up and down. Now, if I was wanting to do psi, if I wanted to jerk down, I could pull this down, and it could really hurt his neck, whiplash. In this case, I control his wrist and press down and in. It's very important that we press down and into his body as opposed to straight down. If you do it straight down, it's not going to work. And the last of this series is fan through the back. And so in this case, say I didn't get it quite well, and he's escaping. As he escapes, I open him up and attack him underneath the arm. Or just in case that he's grabbing me, I can also lift and open and attack. And this is thought of as a rib smash. So this energy is pulling this way, while this is going out this way, which gives it a lot of power. It's all in the waist. Okay? Okay, just a minute here. Let me review this section. From Repulse Monkey, slanting flying, step in and split, raise hands, neutralize, and close. Stork spreads its wings, neutralize in, step. Very important. There's a real tendency to do this. Because you know you're hitting with the shoulder to lean. If you do that and he vanishes, you're going to fall on the floor. What you want to do is make sure that you keep your body upright. It doesn't extend past your foot. And then open. And open. Left brush knee, neutralize one punch, neutralize the second punch, excuse me, and strike. Needle at C bottom. He grabs, we step up, shortening the distance, get the joint into position and close down. Lift up, step in, and strike. Good. The next section, turn and chop opponent with fist. Step up, deflect downward, and punch. Ward off left. Right push upward. Roll back. Press forward. And push. So there's a lot of really cool moves in this section, ones I like. Okay, so John, coming back in. So he's back here. After fan through the back, he's punching in with this side. Now again, this is sort of one of those ones where there's a kind of a funny transition, but we could be going from here, or we can be going from here. As the punch comes in, I want to be drawing him in. So my hands are going to catch his wrist and elbow. I'm not going to stop him. I'm going to encourage him inward. So now he's leaning, he's trying to get back and out. All I do is I make a little chop. This is called chop opponent with fist. So bam, bam, and follow up with a strike. So it's, as he comes in, it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. If it could be, it could be a little more effective if I pull here, pull at the same time I'm striking. It would make it a little bit harder. Or because it's just very fast, it can be just a little flick, and the more of the power comes from there. Now, he's punching in with this hand to the center. This movement is really a neat movement, I think. So as this comes in, I'm going to so I'm getting out, I'm going with it, I'm freeing up this front leg, and I'm going to neutralize it. Now, he is well extended, but he's open so that he could punch me with his other hand. So I need to close him up. So at this point, because he's open, and I am basically in my strength, I can easily take him over to this other side. Close him up. And you'll see we do this quite often in the form. So, 1, I take him over, and now his flank is exposed. So I'm going to change my position here and come in and punch him. So it's 1. Now as I come over and get my foot in position, the other hand presses down. This is what we call deflect down. I deflect down on him and open him up for the punch. 1, 2, Now once again, the opening up, the deflect downward happens just at the same time that the heel hits. If I did it like this, 1, you see, he has too much time, he could come in. Or if I did this, you know, it's too much time. It has to all come together. 1, do. As soon as the heel hits, this hits, and this all happens. 1, 2, 3. All right. Next, he grabs hold of my wrist. Let's do it on this side. I think you probably see a little better. Okay. He grabs hold. Now, I'm just going to, as I come back, he's either going to try and hold on, and my waist and front leg it's going to be a little bit hard for him to hold on well, or he's going to let go. So in any case, if he holds on good and strong, I have this as a brake, as a brace. I can get out. If he lets go, I'm attached. So as I go back, I use this, actually what's going to happen is I'm going to kind of hook in here and draw him in and down and follow it up with a little bonk. So it's going to be, while I'm forward, this hand comes out and it leads him in, and he lets go, and I'm in my center position. And I follow up with a strike upward to the face. Now, we do this quite a lot. I could grab here and hit him. Or I'm just here, and this is very short. Okay, let's say John has quick reactions. As I do this, he blocks. He stopped. Now, he's open and I'm kind of closed. You see, he could attack me. Again, I don't want that to happen. So mainly what I'm going to do is just by turning my waist, I close him up. You see? Now, he's not in too good a shape. So if we do it on this direction, which is the direction we'd be doing it in the form, I'm going to close him up. At the same time I do this, I'm going to turn this toe out. I'm going to step into his flank and knock him away, because he's all twisted up, and he's very vulnerable to just being knocked out of the way. And so that's right push upward. This is ward off left. I close him up, you see. I can come up here, I can come down here, and just right push upward. We then do roll back, press forward, and push. Okay, so this section, from fan through the back, turn, I attach to his elbow and his wrist, I lead him in. Now you have to be very careful not to close up your own body. You see, when I do this, it would be easy to do this. You see how my hands are over on this side of my body. I could do this. And if I did this and he pulled, I would be very out of balance. The hands always need to be in front of the body. When you turn, you know, it looks a bit like the hands are across a body, but you see they're in front of the body, but my body's turned. So it's very important. If I did just even this little bit, now I'm much more vulnerable to being thrown out. 1, 2, I lead in, free this foot up. Now I could kick. Instead, this hand is on the wrist, I chop. Once again, the heel and the fist come. This is a little chop. It's not a big, powerful thing. If it was big, powerful, I'd be shifting the weight onto it. It's very light. Just a little chop, followed up with a much stronger palm strike. 1, 2, 3, 4. He then punched inward. We go back with it, neutralize. Now, as we're going to take him over, we replace this foot, change sides. When the heel hits down, the deflect touches down, and the punch comes out to there. One. If he was, say he started to kind of retreat, I could take a big step here. If he started to advance, I could step back. If he presented himself, I could kick him. So there's a lot of things you can do when you free up a foot and punch. Step up, deflect downward, and punch. Next, ward off left. Relax. Draw him in. Strike up. He blocks. Close him up. This is with your body, your waist. You're turning. Okay. Now I've got this side loaded up. Step in. Right push upward. And then roll back. We'll say it's been the same press and push. Okay, next we have single whip. Waving hands like clouds, which is basically the same movement repeated 3 times. Here's 1. 2. 3. We're then going to repeat, do a single whip. So this is a fun little section, single whip, clouds, hands, single whip. Now we have 10 single whips in this form. We've only seen 1 so far, so this is number 2 and 3. Okay. So this single whip, it's basically somebody, say if he grabbed me. What I'm going to do is just knocking him off. At the same time, this hand's going to come over and close him up. It's sort of confusing to him. If he's holding on, if I try and pull him some way or other, he can deal with it. If I hit him and close him up here, it's much more confusing for him. So I'm going to use my waist. This sort of knocks this hand over. This comes around, and using this hook, I neutralize it out, grab a hold of him, step in, and slap. So he grabs, like so. It could come from a hit he's punching in, so he's punching inward, right? I could slap him. So in this little slap attack is sort of like when we did that little chop. It's a very light little thing, it's more an insult than a knockout or anything like that. Okay, so that's the next single whip. Then waving hands like clouds. Waving hands like clouds. Oh, that's the first part of the single whip. We have another part. So, no, that's right. Let me do this one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. This one knocks off this side. This comes over, pulls them over, and slap. Okay. We're making a slight. You see, when he was standing in front of me, I would be slapping him in front. But because this is Tai Chi in the form and I want it to be fairly similar to the other ones, we're going to end up going in the same place we always end up, which is towards this wall. Okay, the next movement, waving hands like clouds. Okay, so he's coming in, he's a sort of a diagonal, and he's coming in with his right side. Now, I'm going to, again, say if you maybe make a stronger right side statement. I'm going to join and lead. Okay, I want him slightly off balance. Now, this is such the point of Tai Chi. When he punches and I soften up, he expects something either to be hard here or hard here. He doesn't expect, whoop, nothing. So it's very important that when the energy comes in, when our initial attachment, we're very soft. We really empty as much as we can. Okay, so I lead him in. When he gets near the end of his center, I then pull. Okay. When I pull, I step behind him because he's going to try and, of course, right himself. As he tries to right himself, I can just push him away. I could also strike him as short, hard energy, or I can throw him over my leg in nice, long kind of energy. Okay, so, and each time I do this, if I say I throw him away, right? Well, you always want to follow up the energy, you see? I don't want to just throw him away and then have a distance for him to recover and come back. So you'll see when we do this movement, I join, neutralize, pull, throw away, and then we follow up with the back foot. So now we're going to sidestep 4 times. So he punches, I neutralize, control, pull, step, throw him away, and follow up by bringing the other foot into my shoulder width stance. So we repeat this. Three times. We're ending like so. Okay. So the next movement is the finishing up. Let's see, how are you going to see this? Okay, maybe if you come over here. So I've just finished this way. So, okay. So another person, so he's punching straight in with this side. So what I'm going to do here is neutralize him over here. Now you see he's still kind of open, but it's a bit hard for him to reach. All right, so he's punching. Yeah. So here I am. I come over here and I step in and strike into his ribs. I'm going to I could use my whip hand, or a fist, or just the forearm into the ribs. Okay? Yeah. So this looks like punches come in, draw him out, step in, and his other hand's over there, and this hand is pulling, maintaining attention. So I could have a whip, or I could have a fist, or in this case, I'm just going to use my wrist here. Okay, that's the first part. The second part is another person. In single whips, traditionally there's like 2 people. You have 2 different opponents. So I've just finished here. Now this person is punching to my face with this hand. Now if this is coming to my nose, If I just put up, okay, so just keep it going. Keep it going, right? If I just put something in front of my face, it passes me by. I don't have to change its direction. It's going right here. This is what we call a blocking punch. As he comes in, see, I'm blocking him, but I'm basically punching him at the same time. So after this point, he comes in, I do a blocking punch. And this hand is going to help balance what we call dui la. As I strike in, this does this kind of thing. Okay, so how this looks. This is after Cloud's hands. We neutralize. I take him over here, step in, strike the rib. Now here comes the other person. You have to be careful. You want to soften this toe so you can use it to kick if you need to. Block and strike all at the same time. Okay. Okay, so this little section, once again. Single whip. This is a slap is a very loose thing. Waving hands like clouds. He's punching in. We join, lead. This is very soft. Lead him. At the last moment, we pull, which sinks the energy into my quad, and release it back into him, and follow him up. Join softly, lead. Pull, step, strike or push, follow up. 1, 2, 3. This time I don't follow up. Somebody's coming in, I lead to the side, step in, hit the rib, the other person blocking, punching. Okay, next section is the foot kicks. High pat on horse. Separation of the right foot kick. Transition. Separation of the left foot kick. Turn. Left foot kick with sole. Left brush knee. Right brush knee. Step up and punch downward. Okay. It's a little tricky to turn on this carpet. Okay, so foot kicks. The first is high pat on horse. He grabs me with his hand. Now this looks like Repulse Monkey. Same thing. I want to get out of here. Okay. So I just get out. So he's going to follow that up with a punch to my face. Yeah. Okay. I knock him off, he punches. Okay. So I get out. As he punches, I want to lead it in. At the same time, I'm going to step around and flank him. At the same time, I'm going to slap him. Okay. He grabs and knock off. Bam. Now, here he is. As he's getting sniped, he's going to try and withdraw his energy back. As he withdraws, I just open him up and kick him upward. This is what's called a toe kick. We have, in Tai Chi kicking, we basically have two kinds of kick. One is a snap kick and one is a thrust kick. This is a snap kick. A snap kick is very fast. It's not very powerful. It doesn't have to be very powerful. Like if I was going to kick him in the crotch or kick him in the knee, he doesn't have time to react. In Tai Chi, most all of the kicks come from the waist down because it's very hard. How is he going to block this? If he goes to try and block it, well, he exposes his head. So most all of the kicks go to the lower body, to the knee or to the groin. And we generally kick the weighted foot. You never really kick the unweighted foot. The other kick, so we have two snap kicks early on right now in the form. Then we're going to have what's called a thrust kick. And a thrust kick is a very powerful kick. If you wanted to smash down a door or something, it's like your energy comes up here and back down. With a snap kick, it's all just in the knee. With a thrust kick, it's all up in the torso and hip. Much stronger. So these first two kicks are what we call snap kick. He grabs for high pat on horse. I knock him off. He steps in, neutralize. Separation of the right foot kick. As he withdraws, I close him up and kick him. Okay, so then we're going to have a little transition in between this and the next snap kick. So in this case, he's going to punch in with this hand. I'm weak. He'd say pushes in or punches in. So what I'm going to do is, this is a neutralizes down. So he kicks. I then reach around him and I'm going to throw him. This hand is going to close him up this way. This hand's going to pull him around. So I'm just going to throw him over. You see, for instance, if he was pushing me, if he's pushing me, and I take him down, you see, it's very easy to throw him off. So this looks like this. This is a kind of a, let me show you these couple of movements here. High pat on horse. He grabbed, I knocked off. He then punched. I stepped to the side, neutralize, control, slap. Again, you want to be very soft through here, and it's only when you pull that things become very firm. Then things soften. He tries to get out. We open and kick. We knock off, join, lead strike, close up, kick. Now, he came in. We neutralized it out, step down. I then reached around behind him. This hand is going to close him up, and we're going to pull and throw him over there. We're then just going to kick again. This is just a very simple kick. You know, this can happen from any punch. If he's punching me, that is just, you see, it's just a little neutral. See, and I would only kick the weighted foot. It wouldn't do me any good if it didn't have any weight on it. So, because he's putting weight on, he's coming in, it hurt the knee. Okay, so after I've thrown him over here, this is just a little kick. Now, the next thrust kick, somebody's behind me. Now, if he's kicking me from the back, straight up with his foot, a lot of times when he goes to kick, I'm going to use my leg kick to block it. This turning. So when somebody's behind you in the kicking, you see, I'm coming up, I'm guarding myself, I'm also using this leg to neutralize him. So in this case, as he goes to kick, I knock it out of the way, and then I kick him with a thrust kick to his center. So I knock it out of the way and kick him. All in the same movement. So this is sort of the hardest movement in the form because one has to keep the weight up, kick, and then make the step all happen. And it takes a certain amount of balance and coordination. It's certainly easier to do on a smooth surface. Okay, the next is left brush knee, right brush knee, punch downward. And again, we're dealing with foot kicks. So I've just kicked. Now, he's going to kick me around with this foot. So again, just like in carry tiger to mountain, I step in and catch and throw him over. I step in, catch, and throw him over, okay? Then he goes to kick me with this foot. Step in, catch, and push over. Lastly, so I block two, he's kicking me again. So I'm tired of this little game of kick. So this time, I grab him and I punch him in the groin, okay? So this little piece here, okay, so your history. Step in, block, grab, step here, grab and push. Grab and push. Grab and punch downward. There's a punch to the crotch. Now, the one thing I want you to notice, this is a little different. Most of the time when we step, I just step directly ahead. If I'm walking, I'm stepping ahead. In this case, because this person is kicking towards my crotch or kicking me, when I make the step, I close the crotch and then come out. Okay? When you're doing this, you can close the crotch and then step in for punch downward. It's a little different, just a slightly different step. Here, when I'm stepping, this closes, step in, push, he's kicking again, close, step in, and punch downward. Okay, so, gosh, I'm afraid we didn't quite make it. So the next video we'll continue on, finish up the second section, and move into the third section. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. It's a lot of fun, as you were able to discern, and I thank John a lot. It's really fun to have a good training partner, somebody that you can play with, you feel comfortable with, and it makes it, when you're trying to figure out these applications, it really helps to have somebody to work on them with. Oh yeah, I think that maybe this isn't quite right, this doesn't feel right, or maybe we could do this way, And it's only through my own studies, through working with students, through teaching, that I come up with all these different possible applications. I never studied Master Choi, didn't really talk about them, I didn't study applications. It just sort of evolves, and I hope it is fun for you, and it'll make your form just really much, much more on key. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you again next time. All right.